when you're speaking of our country, our culture, our homes, our neighborhoods, the church, like looking at both what is really beautiful and going well and God's goodness and just the grace and love in those that is marked in those things, and then but also holding both, hey, what are the areas that don't sit right, that still need attention and mending and redemption, that we can be a part of, that God's created us to walk in. So like just holding both of those things, of the pieces that need those correction pieces, but also the connection to the cross and God's mercy, right? The mess to the mercy pieces. So
wow, sounds like someone has been listening to Stephen Furtick.
I have.
Sounds very Furtick. It's so clean. You know what I'm saying? It's so clean. The lines are perfect. You know what I'm saying? Hey, a gift. That's a gift to the church.
Yeah. Well, what about you though? Like what this morning is like you want to say out of reflection of the last several weeks?
That's a great question. First of all, I want to say you're gorgeous. It's not this type of stuff I can tell Jerry when he's here. Jerry looks good too, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to get a little weird, but so first of all, you look beautiful. Second, from the prophetic legacy of Jerusalem, we are saying that we are from the tradition of the people that God entrusts his oracles to, his letter about how he feels, not just about the people we call quote unquote God's people, but about how he feels about humanity. God is pro-humanity. He created humans, right? He created humans that are in the church. He created humans that are outside the church. We respect the fact that when the story was handed on to us, it was handed on to us in the context of the church. But that doesn't mean that God has forgotten the people that are outside of that and around. But God loves humanity, right? So the prophetic legacy is this idea that we are from these men and women. The story we carry today stems from the story that these men and women carried in the past. And particularly right now, we are looking at what's called the minor prophets. You know, the Hoseas and the stories that they carried, the Amoses and the critique along the way, stinging critique that they had, not always just for the world outside of them, but to people that have been ascribed as God's people.
Yeah, it's heavy.
What is it that people need to hear? So we are from that tradition. It's a tradition that these guys carry, that then Jesus comes on the scene and he picks up the same tradition. Carries it, speaks truth. Speaks truth to people that didn't expect that truth might sound that way to them. Speaks grace to people that didn't expect that grace may sound that way to them. He carried that all the way to the cross. We are from not only the tradition that ends on the cross, but that is then picked up by ordinary men and women, most of whom were on the outskirts of culture. That God says, no, it's how I do it. Like, carry this. Build communities around this. And as you build communities, let them be living metaphors of how I am with people. Both my grace and my critique. Right? It's that sort of thing. We're from the prophetic legacy.